Good evening, Lake Orion. Well, it's been a nice, warm, sunny day. It's been nice out. Starting to get a little tan out. I'm your host, Anthony, and I am Taormina. Taormina. Yes, indeed, Lake Orion. This is Between Taorminas here on ONTV. I'm Anthony. There's Sammy.
You know, we're doing it in about a week.
Yes, but for those of you who want to know where Ian is, Ian actually started work today, and Ian is working in Detroit, so he had wanted to, so we weren't able to do it at the regular time, so Ian will be in and out. So right now it's just me and Sam. All right?
Mm-hmm. You know, we have a meet coming up next week.
Yes, we do. We have Walden versus Scripps. That'll be a lot of fun at Walden.
Scripps versus Walden at Walden.
That'd be a lot of fun at Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the. Let us talk about the
Stanley Cup
Playoffs first. We have to bring this up. We have to talk about the Red Wings win over the Lightning. They're down 2-1 in the series to Tampa. What chances are you giving the Wings against the Lightning?
Slim to none.
Why?
Because you look at the Detroit Red Wings and how they're franchised. You look at this hockey team. They had to play probably their best game just to win over the Lightning. And Tampa Bay, they're not a good road team, and that's clear. Tampa Bay is not a good team on the road. Now, when you look at Detroit, on the other hand, Detroit's a good hockey team, but they're a flawed hockey team. Because this is a Detroit team. They had to make Peter Mrazek at the start. Then I thought Riley Smith coming back really helped them out.
Do you think they should have started Mrazek over Jimmy Howard?
No.
Why?
No. Because Howard was hot at the time. Howard was rolling in the playoffs. When you look at the system that Detroit has, I mean, if Howard was playing well, you give him the start. But they needed a spark, and I guess that's what's going on with Detroit.
Have you noticed the fighting that's been going on between the Red Wings and the Lightning?
A lot of people are comparing this.
Have they compared it to the Wings and Abs,
Yeah.
or even the Wings and Stars, but more the Wings and Abs?
Because, well, there's been blood.
Yes, there has been.
But when the goalies fight, then it's an actual rivalry.
But they haven't fought
They
yet.
haven't fought yet. But when you look at Tampa Bay and Detroit, I think Tampa Bay is starting to become that to Detroit, because you look at the Lightning. Steve Yzerman, general manager of that team, vice president of the Tampa Bay Lightning. How would it feel?
But wouldn't that make it? You wouldn't see those many fights that occur, though. I mean, you look at the fights are beginning to be compared to the Wings and Abs. You just don't see Tampa Bay being a team that likes to fight.
Right.
It just seems.
But they started in game 1.
Yeah.
It escalated game 2, and then it kind of Detroit just gave them.
Do you notice that there's one boiling point that seems to be in that is Michael Abdicator?
Justin Abdicator.
Or Justin Abdicator.
Yep.
Sorry about that. But Justin Abdicator seems to be involved in all of these fights.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think do you think Justin Abdicator should be suspended or punished for his actions this series?
No. Because,
why?
Because of he's been that agitator, very similar to what Antoine Roussel is in Dallas. But when you look at agitators, when you look at aggressive, when you look at I want to start a fight, I want to get energy for my team, it creates that energy, that fun. You know, he just wants to bring the energy to Detroit, you know, and say, hey, stay off my guy. Like, because I know Tampa Bay in game 1 was harassing Dylan Larkin.
Right.
And, and basically said, if you're going to hassle my guy, I'm going to hassle Jonathan Druin a lot. Of course, Druin, is that young rookie from Tampa Bay who basically, think about it,
kind of cancels each other out.
Basically.
All right, so let's talk about your Dallas Stars now. They are 2-0 on Minnesota. This is not the first time that the Minnesota Wild have been involved in this situation. No. The Wild were down 2-0 going in against the Avalanche a few years ago and 1-7. Do you think this Wild team could be comparable to that team that won over the Avalanche?
When you don't have Zach Parise and Thomas Vanek, then that's going to be a huge problem. Devin Dubnyk's played very well for the Wild. I'm going to give him that credit. Brent Sutter's played a lot of minutes. Of course, when you're going against a line that's led by Jamie Benn, then it's going to create some problems. Now, Minnesota's been doing very, very well, especially Dubnyk the last 2 games. And now they're going to get that huge spark going into Minnesota. It's Dallas' old home. It's in St. Paul. It's going to be a crazy environment. But Dallas has done very well on the road this year. When you look at the Stars, you have Jamie Benn. Tyler Seguin's not playing tonight with that Achilles. But Jason Spetz has really picked up increased his intensity. You've got Radek Vasquez winning faceoffs. I mean, you got Stephen Johns playing well. You got John Klingberg doing okay, and then Kari Lettman's playing good goaltending.
How much is the St. Louis-Chicago series concerning to you, obviously being from a Dallas perspective?
Being honest with you, it's very concerning, because especially if it's St. Louis, because the Stars don't match up well with St. Louis. Chicago Stars actually match up very well with. But with St. Louis at 2-1, that's a huge concern.
So would you rather see that series go 7?
I think it's going to go 7. I think the Stars will win that series. The Stars can win maybe at least 1 in Minnesota.
If they win 1 in Minnesota, it's over.
Right.
Do you think that's the same situation with the Wings in Tampa? If Tampa wins 1 in Detroit, the series is over?
Yes, but I still think it's going to go at least 6. But I think Detroit wins Tuesday night and basically forces a game 6 guaranteed in Detroit.
Okay. So any final thoughts on the segment?
When you look at the situation here, I think the Stars it wouldn't surprise me if they lose tonight, but then they'll win Game 4. It wouldn't surprise me.
All right.
I hope the Stars win tonight, but it wouldn't surprise me if they lose tonight. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
All right.
Because Minnesota's got too much pride.
When we come back, we're going to discuss the NBA playoffs here on Between Taorminas on ONTV.
When I'm in Lake Orion and I want to catch up on sports, I watch Between Taorminas.
Set the date. Lake Orion is having its 16th annual Flower and Art Fair on Friday, May 6th and Saturday, May 7th. This event takes place in the streets of downtown Lake Orion and kicks off the summer season. It's a wonderful place to purchase garden-related products and handmade craft items. This also provides a great opportunity to buy that special Mother's Day gift. Want to be a vendor in the fair or know someone who does? Don't delay, apply today. Give us a call or check out our website for an application. For more information or to download a vendor application, visit our website at downtownlakeorion.org. We hope to see you there.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Sammy, how you doing?
Hanging in there. Just thinking about that meet coming up in a week.
Oh, yes, that meet will be fun. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs. The NBA playoffs started off with a bang. The Pistons and the Cavaliers. The Pistons proved that they can compete with the Cavaliers. They've won 3 out of 4 against Cleveland. Do you think that the Pistons kind of are getting screwed a little bit from LeBron or the referees? Or do you think, what's your view on the referees in this NBA?
The officiating is questionable at best because, and I've seen some really bad calls with officials and referees. Heck, even high school officials are not that good with a lot of bad calls. Not the greatest, but they're not as bad as the NBA. But superstar calls, I've been really against this for a long time. You know what I mean? Because in the NBA, they benefit a lot of the stars. You see LaQueen Jamie O,
LeBron.
and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love getting a lot of beneficial calls against, for them. But when you look at what's going on around the league, it's a superstar league.
Right.
And it's a show me league. It's a show league. When Stephen Curry gets hurt, everybody's Golden State, when he gets hurt, everybody's saying, "Oh, the ankle, it's a big concern." You know what I mean?
Right.
When it's just
Do you think it
an
has
injury.
Do you think a lot of it has to do with the announcers, with how the
I
announcers?
think Mike Breen's an idiot, but I think Mike Breen's a corporate idiot. But and then you have
Mark Jackson.
who
Jeff
was
Van Gundy.
and Jeff Van Gundy. I think Jeff Van Gundy's gone. I think Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson are gone after this.
You think
year.
both of them are going to become?
Will become head coach. I think Jeff Van Gundy's going to be a coach and president of basketball operations at either Minnesota or at Houston.
What about Mark Jackson?
I think he's going to be the coach at Minnesota. I really do think.
What about Sacramento?
Sacramento's got a great shot at him. I think Sacramento's got a great shot.
Sacramento's in the top 2 for Mark Jackson.
I think Mark Jackson's going to go to Sacramento, and I think Jeff Van Gundy's going to be the next president and president of basketball operations and head coach at Houston.
So you think their announcing days are done?
Their announcing days are done.
It seemed like when watching the Pistons and the Cavs game, it seemed like those announcers had no idea about truly how good the Pistons really are and how they've improved.
Because when you look at what's going on with Detroit, I mean,
it just seems like they haven't had any Sunday night or Sunday afternoon
showcases.
Right,
well,
showcases
because when you look at it here, the Pistons were 32 and 50,
Mm-hmm.
and then this year they won 44 games, Stan Gundy, I think, has done this right with this team.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a very young team, so the players are going to listen to him. The players are going to respect him because he's not only coaching them, but he's also paying him.
Right. Well, Ian Weatherspoon also said that this is probably the hardest coaching job Stan Van Gundy has.
I think this is the best coaching job.
Do you think that is hardest and best?
I think it's the best coaching job he's done.
You
know what I mean? Not even when he coached at Orlando, because one, he's had to do this from
scratch.
He's basically kept 2 of Joe Dumars' players, which
were
is Kenrell Callis Pope and Andre Drummond. These are basically his guys, and all these guys are basically 26 and younger. So basically, there's a lot of young legs. So then they're learning the game. They're learning to play together. They're benefiting by playing with each other. Now this is a team that's making a lot of mistakes. Yes, and the mistakes cost them
a lot of youth.
A lot of it was youth and inexperience. But when these guys get younger, when these guys get more experience, I think this is a team that is a team that's forever on the rise. I mean, you look at teams that are young, and develop the chemistry. You know what I mean? It's basically, it's an experiment in which young teams basically goes through. And I look at the Dallas Stars, for example. Of course, they went through bankruptcy, and look what happened with them. 5 years later.
But do you think that the Pistons do you think that the Pistons are going to eventually get up there to the level of the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics?
They'll get up there. They'll get up
Charlotte Hornets, the Atlanta Hawks.
They'll get up there. I mean, the Eastern Conference is
Toronto,
getting better.
Cleveland.
The Eastern Conference is getting
Seems
better.
like it.
But they'll get up there. But I think that right now, I just think that they don't have that. They just do not. They're a good team. They're not a great team. And I think it's going to take a lot of experience and a deep bench to develop, and I think they need to develop.
I think the Pistons have got a pretty good bench.
Yeah, but they're last in the NBA, though.
They're last in the NBA in the bench?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Because in scoring, they were last in the NBA in scoring until last night.
I thought their bench was pretty decent.
No, they were last in the NBA.
I'll have to check that one up. So, if you're the Chicago Bulls watching this, what do you think?
Time to clean house.
You think it's time to clean house in Chicago?
Yep. I mean, the Pistons are a team on the rise. I think Chicago's on the way down.
So you think the Bulls are declining, the Pistons are up?
Yes, they're rising.
So how do you think that makes you feel if you're in Chicago? In Cleveland, do you think it
Angry.
Do you think it is NBA championship or bust?
Yeah.
Also in Golden State, you have that feeling.
Well, Golden State, yeah, but then again, everybody in Golden State ain't gonna hate you because, like, you've won an NBA title.
Right.
I mean, but you've won 73 games. They won't hate you. Whereas in Cleveland, it's win or bust because Cleveland, that's a city that's suffered. The Cleveland Browns have suffered. The Cleveland Indians have suffered. I mean, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, this is hope for them. You know what I mean? That their savior, LeBron James, comes back and saves that franchise. He's basically in charge of that franchise. I mean, you basically say, you know what? I mean, if they don't get it done, then Pat Riley's going to be really happy to say, you know what, son? I can keep you in check.
I told you
and
so.
I told you so.
Do you think it's still a 5-game series between the Pistons and the Cavs?
I think it's a 6-game series.
You think it's 6? So the Pistons did enough to prove to you that it could go at least 6?
Yes, it'll go at least 6.
I just think it could go 6.
It could go 6.
Right now, I'm still sticking with 5 right now, but it could easily go 6. I mean, it could also go 7. Who knows? I mean, if the Pistons can steal the game in Cleveland, that would be nice.
If they steal game 2 in Cleveland and then they hold serve, you know what I mean? At home, they go up 3-2. They've done everything that I've accomplished. You know what I mean?
They're that you can ask.
All right,
so any final thoughts on the NBA other than domination in the...
Poor Toronto. I feel so bad for the Raptors.
Why?
They're down 1-0 to the Pacers. I feel so bad for them.
I don't feel bad for them.
I do.
I mean, San Antonio crushed Memphis.
I want to see Toronto advance to the playoffs because
Advance
those people...
out of the first round.
Out of the first round. Those people in Northern Canada is suffering right now. And I know deep down, Bill Reese, he is Canadian. And
what?
And his Toronto Raptors are suffering right now.
Bill Reese, Canadian?
Yep,
No.
he's Canadian.
No.
I have evidence.
Jeez. All right. When we come back to Between Taorminas, we're going to talk about something.
Hello, Oakland County. It's Sammy Taormina talking OA Now. In it, we'll talk various stories ranging from the state to Oakland County teams affecting the OAA. Catch us here on OA Now.
Hello, Lake Orion. It's Anthony Taormina, co-host of Between Taorminas. I want to let you know of a new show called History Now. In it, we're going to talk about global, national, and political events that occur in our lifetime. We're going to also have guests and also have co-hosts as well, and also plenty of surprises. Catch us on History Now here on ONTV. Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Sammy, how you doing?
Hanging in there.
Let's talk about the Tigers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, let's send our prayers out to the people of Houston going through a very, very rough time with flooding in Houston. Prayers are obviously sent to the people of Houston, Texas, and hopefully hopefully not too much damage is being done, but prayers sent to Houston, the people of Houston. The Tigers were in Houston.
Yeah, and they lost 2 of 3.
How does that happen?
You want to know why?
Why?
And that's because the Tigers are not that good.
Why are you saying that?
Because they can't hit, they can't pitch in Houston. Minute Maid Park's a hitters-friendly park. You look at this baseball team. I mean, Miguel Cabrera's not the same player he used to be. They can't. I mean, and their pitching staff has been a complete, absolute disaster.
But Houston's a good team, though.
I understand Houston's a good team, but their Tigers pitching staff is a disaster. Brad Osmus can't manage, and this guy needs to be fired.
So your take on the Tigers is you don't expect the Tigers to make the playoffs. You don't expect you expect the Kansas City Royals to win the division.
Yep, and the Kansas City Royals and Tigers play this week.
They play this week. Oh, that'll be fun. Don't they play this weekend or they play today?
No, they don't play today. I think it's tomorrow they play.
So the Tigers and the Royals play. Are they at Comerica or at Kansas City?
Kansas City, I think.
Oh, good grief.
Yep, and I'll tell you why the Royals are going to win that series.
Are they going to win the series or are they going to sweep the series?
They're going to sweep the series
good grief.
because I'm going to tell you why. One, this loser right here, who is supposed to be here, is not here, needs to listen and listen straight.
So he's not working.
Kansas City has a bullpen.
Okay.
Kansas City has hitting.
Okay.
Kansas City has starting pitching.
Okay.
Kansas City has experience.
Okay.
Kansas City went to World Series.
Okay.
Kansas City won the World Series.
Okay.
And, of course, that's something that Ian Weatherspoon dies and wants. Now he's not here. Ian Weatherspoon, in real reality, he's not a Tigers fan. He's a Kansas City Royals fan.
We all know that. I mean, people who watch our show agree that Ian is a Kansas City Royals fan.
But here's
we
why.
agree on that.
Here's why
that is true. Most of the public agrees with
Here's
that.
why the Tigers are going to lose.
Okay.
Tigers aren't consistent. Kansas City's consistent, and they're efficient. And the Tigers are not efficient. They're not that good.
So so you think Kansas City's going to sweep the series against the Tigers?
Yes, they're going to sweep the series. They're going to devour the Tigers.
And what if the Tigers win the series?
I will be upset and disappointed.
Why would you be upset?
Because, one, you look at this Tiger team. This is Detroit.
Isn't Kansas City leading the Central right now?
Yes, but this is a Detroit Tigers team that's not a consistent ball club. They've never been consistent. They've never, ever since they traded away David Price, and ever since they brought in Daniel Norris, who I think is not a good pitcher.
Daniel Norris not a good pitcher?
Yes.
He lives in his car.
And then you look at all the other pieces.
I think Daniel Norris is a good pitcher. Okay,
their bullpen's a disaster.
Okay.
You know, and then their closing situation disaster. K-Rod's not that great. And you look
he's blown a few saves. I know
he's
that.
blown a few saves. Ian Weatherspoon needs to understand that this is a Detroit Tigers team that's not going to make the playoffs because they're not a consistent team. Now, he's going to say, well, it's only April. We're heading into May.
That's
but
consistent.
It's time to press the panic button on this Detroit Tigers team. Right now, my panic meter button for the Tigers is an extra $10 trillion. That is even more than the U.S. government in debt. That is the panic button.
An extra $10 trillion?
Yep, and even more than the U.S. government's debt.
Is Sammy in delusion like what Bob says?
And Bob Bridges needs to root in hard for the Dallas Stars. He needs to bow down to Victory Green.
Yikes.
And you know what a team I think that we should all buy into, the bandwagon? The Texas Rangers.
Ooh, Texas has been doing pretty good.
Of course. I mean, you look at Prince Fielder. I like Morozo a lot, the rookie. Texas.
You think the Tigers should have kept Prince?
Yes.
Why?
Because Prince would have gave them good talent. They would have had.
Prince is having a bounce back year.
He had a bounce back year. I can understand that if issues with Cabrera at third, should have traded Castellanos. But when you look at the situation right now, the Tigers have been better off with Prince in their lineup. You know, they would have been better off, and that would have been a scary threesome.
It still was when Prince was here in Detroit.
I know that. Prince would have been.
But we wouldn't have gotten
Kinsler, yes, but I think when you look at the deal, I just think that the Tigers, Prince would have been better.
Even more than Kinsler?
Yeah.
No, I think Kinsler likes it here. But give Texas a lot of credit right now.
Texas is getting better. They're improved. They got a first baseman. And deep down, Ian knows you cannot mess with Texas. Don't mess with Texas.
Aren't they technically owned by Mexico?
No, they're not.
No, they are.
No, they're not. Just like what I'm going to do to you next week.
So you think Ian Weatherspoon is in... So you think Ian's not working. You think Ian's in Kansas City.
Yes.
You think Ian's in Kansas City rooting for the Kansas City Royals against the Tigers.
And doing 50 Surrender Cobras.
The Surrender Cobra Club.
Yup. That's president. It's Bob Bridges, who was here last week.
Yes, and I thought Bob did a great job last week.
No, he didn't. He's a loser.
What?
He needs help.
Why?
That guy needs help.
No, he doesn't.
He needs help.
No, he doesn't. There's a lot of people that look up to him as inspiration.
No. Victory Green is a guy who needs to look up.
Victory Green is a giant booger.
He's not a booger. He is a great mascot.
Yeah, right.
He's a great mascot that Bill Reese, Eric Jennings, Kevin Crowther, Jim Manzo, and especially Bob Bridges needs to bow down to.
All right, Sammy, you are a hoot. All right, ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen.
we got track next week, you know.
Yes, we do got track next
You know
week.
what's going to happen, right?
We'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this week's episode of Between Taorminas. Catch us back on later episodes. Stay tuned. I encourage you guys to watch History Now and OAA Now as well on ONTV. All right, Lake Orion, have a great night from Between Taorminas here on ONTV.